everyone, it's Kensie again, and today we are reading 5-minute Spider-Man stories. And I chose the first one, the story of Spider-Man. Alright, so let's begin. Peter Parker was just your average teenager from Queens, New York. He lived with his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and he attended Midtown High. Peter was very studious and was considered one of the smartest kids in school. Unfortunately, his good grades didn't make him very popular with some of his classmates. Flash Thompson, the school bully, regularly tormented Peter. One day, Flash pushed him to the ground, and Peter's books and papers were scattered everywhere. "Hey, Parker, you dropped your books," Flash sneered. School was tough for Peter, but he was always happy at home. Aunt May and Uncle Ben loved Peter completely. Uncle Ben always reminded Peter that he was going to do something special with his life. "You are incredibly smart, Peter," Aunt May said. "You have the ability to be anything you want to be." "Well, actually, I was thinking I might want to be a scientist someday," Peter replied. Uncle Ben put his arm around Peter. "A scientist is a very important job. Science is power. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility." One day, Peter's life changed. While he was on a school trip to the science hall, he was excited to see real-life scientists at work. But while Peter looked around at the exhibits, a spider passed through radioactive waves. Peter was so distracted he didn't notice the radioactive spider had right toward him. At that moment, the radioactive spider bit Peter. He could never have imagined what an impact this one bite would have on his life. Peter Parker would never be the same. Before Peter knew it, he had adopted many characteristics of a spider. He could cling to walls, he was super strong, and he also had a spider sense. This meant that Peter experienced a strong tingling feeling that alerted him to danger. These skills made Peter extremely powerful. Look, he's clinging onto walls. Peter wanted to keep his identity a secret, so he stayed up all night creating a spider suit and mask. He even stitched a large spider in the front of it. Peter also worked hard to figure out how to control new powers. Using his vast knowledge of science, he made web shots and practiced shooting them in his bedroom. Peter's super strong webs stuck to every surface. Soon his entire room was covered in webs. Okay, not as easy as it looks, Peter thought. Like all teenagers, Peter wanted to make money. He needed a job where he could use his powers to his advantage. Soon Peter became a wrestler. "Please welcome to the ring, Spider-Man," the announcer would boom. Peter used his powers to defeat every opponent. One night, Peter noticed the wrestling gym was being robbed. Peter didn't care, and the robber ended up getting away. When Peter got home that night, he saw police cars in front of his house. He raced inside and found that someone had attacked and hurt Uncle Ben. Aunt May and Peter were devastated. The police officers told Peter not to worry because they had the criminal cornered at an old warehouse. But Peter knew he had to take matters into his own hands. Peter put his Spider-Man suit and swung through the city. He was determined to avenge Uncle Ben. At last, Peter arrived in the warehouse. The thief was stunned as he watched Spider-Man in action. Spider-Man shot a web and trapped the crook. After getting a good look at him, Spider-Man realized he was the same criminal he had watched escape from the wrestling gym. If only I had stopped him then, he thought. Peter vowed that from then on he would help others, whether it was in his power. He would never let anything like this happen again. Ever again. Just 1 month earlier, Peter would have been busy studying for his chemistry final like any normal teenager. But everything had changed. He might still have to do homework from time to time, but Peter was also Spider-Man. The next day at school, everyone couldn't stop talking about Spider-Man. I think he's great, Flash said as he looked at an article about the new hero. He's just trying to help the city. Peter smiled. If only Flash knew who he really was. The next day, Spider-Man heard about another criminal on the loose in Manhattan. Spider-Man swung down to confront the villain, who he had discovered had the ability to control electricity. It was Electro. The hero used his web shooters after a few minutes, the supervillain was defeated. In that moment, Spider-Man realized something. It was his destiny to always protect others, and if he worked hard enough, maybe one day he could become a great superhero. Spider-Man thought back to the words that Uncle Ben always used to say, with great power comes great responsibility. Peter Parker may seem like a normal teenager, but there's a part of him that is extremely special. He is a superhero who can scale buildings and spin webs. He is the amazing Spider-Man! The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Bye-bye!